Hey everyone, it's Mr. Flying Pig HD here. Wave. Goodbye from the Premier League, Aston Villa. So sorry about that. It's actually a sad day. Aston Villa have just been relegated to the Championship, out of the top flight for the first time in 28 years. Manchester United stuck the final nail in the coffin there to send them down, and they've whimpered out of the Premier League after a very piss-poor campaign from the villains. I think they'll all agree. It's been terrible. They've been on a slippery slope since they sacked Martin O'Neill, really. I think they're right down there in terms of the worst Premier League sides of all time in the Premier League era, right down there with the Derby Whipping Boys. From what I've seen from Villa so far this season, they have been gash-tastic. But guess what? Manchester United actually made them look like a half-decent side today, because we're so gash-tastic under that toad Louis van Gaal, playing that shitty style of football, possession football, sidey-sidey, passy-pass, control the game in that sort of manner, try and lull the opposition into a situation where they're bored out of their mind and they make mistakes. That's what it seems to be. Okay, we won the game of football. That's a positive. Obviously we got the 3 points, but it wasn't up to standard in terms of the performance. I'm sorry. It's more Louis van Gaal, boring football, and this is Manchester United at Old Trafford against the worst Premier League team this season, and we can't score a few goals or even put up a really good attacking performance. No, we can't do that. It was dreadful. The first half was poor. Aside from the goal, the first half was poor. Second half was absolutely gash-tastic. I was thinking, actually, if this was an Alex Ferguson side, any of them, we'd have been 2 or 3 up against this particular Aston Villa side by half-time. And if we weren't, he would have got the hairdryer out and they would have had a much better attacking second half right until the final whistle. But this Louis van Gaal side, no, we come out second half and we play even freaking worse than we did in the first half. It's just a matter of time until he goes. I know that 6 games until the end of the season, but I can't wait for it to happen. If he somehow gets top 4 and somehow wins the FA Cup and the board stick with him, I don't know what I'm going to do, because I just cannot stomach another season with this Louis van Gaal toad in charge. This style of football, the way we're playing, doesn't get any better. It doesn't improve. I mean, maybe some people would just think I'm being a little bit arrogant here, really, because we've won the game of football. Shouldn't we be happy with that? Well, no, I'm not freaking happy with that, because it's not a good enough way that we play our football. This is Manchester United. You know, we're supposed to be exciting. We're supposed to be full throttle. We're supposed to be attacking, especially at Old Trafford, against one of the worst Premier League sides in existence. I mean, come on. It's just a no-brainer, isn't it? But we weren't. I mean, there were positives from the game. Of course, Marcus Rashford getting the goal that separated the two sides today. Lovely goal it was as well. The 18-year-old just keeps on scoring. I think that's 7 goals in 12 games now for Manchester United's first team. Great return from the 18-year-old. I was reading a stat before the game. He scored 3 league goals for United. That's the most of any player under the age of 19 for Manchester United in the Premier League, which is remarkable. He's added another one to that today as well. He just keeps on showing his class, keeps on showing his range of techniques out there. I mean, today's finish was Ruud van Nistelrooy-esque. Last week it was Thierry Henry-esque. He just looks better and better the more he plays. And he's played such a handful of games for United. For him to have scored so many goals at such a young age, coming in, out of necessity, really, is absolutely unbelievable. When local lad as well, he's cost us nothing. What an absolute gem of a player that Louis van Gaal has brought into that side, whether it's out of necessity or whatever. You've got to give him credit for that. Marcus Rashford looks like an absolute find. The prospect of him and Anthony Martial for the next few years, in a few years' time, is absolutely orgasmic. So that was a massive positive from the game today, and the goal was sublime. It was a great sprayed crossover to Antonio Valencia from Wayne Rooney, who's making his first start appearance from the back from injury, and let's not forget, before the injury was absolutely fantastic. So hopefully he can kick on and find that form that he was in before the injury struck. So positive to get Wayne Rooney back in the side. He is a big player for us, and he had a hand in that goal. Great cross out to Antonio Valencia. Antonio Valencia with seemed like a very easy pinpoint pass to an unmarked Marcus Rashford, who slotted it away, Ruud van Nistelrooy-esque, past the keeper to give us the 1-0 lead and give us the win effectively, because without that goal we didn't break through them any other time, really. So we were very fortunate that Marcus Rashford again has come and saved our bacon there and managed to get us the 3 points. Come on, Marcus Rashford! So huge positive there. Smalling's had a very solid game. Really happy with Smalling, and Antonio Valencia. Nice to see him having a hand in the goal, getting the assist. So bit of a shout out to Antonio. It hasn't featured that much for Louis van Gaal this season. So there we have it. It's a win. It's 3 points. Man City are away to Chelsea a bit later today as well, so they could falter there. Our season is still alive. Let's not forget that. Our season's alive. But I'm just not happy with the way we're playing our football, the style of football. This is not Manchester United. Louis van Gaal, the Dutch toad, on your bike, son. Cycle back to Amsterdam. already, please, because I've just had enough of it now. I can't stomach the prospect of him being here any longer, let alone next season. On your jog, son. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. Let me know what you guys thought about the performance of the game out there today. We've won the game, 3 points in the sack. I just don't think it's the Manchester United way. Thank you very much for watching. This is Mr. Flying Pig HD here. Take it easy, chuck a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Until next time, you have yourself a good one, and take it easy, Aston Villa down there in the Championship. See you later on, Aston Villa. It's going to be sad not playing them next season. I've always had very fond memories of Manchester United playing Aston Villa, mostly because in my lifetime, we've absolutely decimated them every single time, pretty much. So, you know, one of those teams that Manchester United has always seemed to get the better of. It's a shame that they are not in the Premier League to give us 6 points next season. Anyway, thanks very much for watching this. Have yourself a good one. Take it easy. Nah.